Everybody who said the word deep waters gets knocked out in the first minute. Go back and check the media that you've done. So, I'm pretty happy with that. That's good.
He's got the quick hands, the quick feet. He closes gaps fast. Guess what, though? Stay away from the ground, because if they get to the ground, Aspinall has a good edge. But Gane has improved in that area, at least to the point where he can survive. He can protect himself. He can, his takedown defense and his defense when taken down has become much better.
So I've got one of the best heavyweight teams in the world, if not the best heavyweight team. Some of the best minds in the game, some of the best training partners in the game. We actually discussed, and we've shown what we can do, shown how dangerous I am, and we're going to switch it up this time, and we're going to go out there and win a boring split decision.
UFC 321 is on the horizon, and the heavyweight division is abuzz with anticipation. Tom Aspinall goes up against Ciryl Gane in a bout that will determine the future of the division. The two men recently appeared before the media, having respect for each other, but not hesitating to make some outlandish statements. Ciryl Gane began by stating that he would take Aspinall into deep waters, pushing him to his limits of endurance and mental fortitude.
Tom Aspinall is well-rounded. He's a huge fighter. He's a new breed like me, technical and fast, so he's different. Everybody knows my strength, everybody knows his strength also. I can do very well to manage my distance and go to the second round. But even that different way, if I want, I can go also really fast at the very first round, and maybe to go on the deep water with Tom Aspinall this year.
So you're ready to take him to deep water for the first time in his career?
Yeah, probably.
Tom Aspinall was quick to answer. Collected, mature, and in a focused state, he acknowledged Gane as a world-class fighter, but eliminated the theory that this was going to be an easy one-way contest. Aspinall made it clear that he is anticipating a war and that folks are downplaying just how much of a matchup this really is.
I think that he's really, really good. He's super talented. He's been at the top of the division for a number of years, which is not easy to do. He's been an interim champion himself. He's obviously had 2 title shots for the undisputed title as well. So I think the guy's really good. I've took him extremely, extremely seriously. The fact that people expect it to be an easy fight, I don't read into that at all. I think I'm prepared for a really, really hard fight.
That being said, Tom didn't dismiss Gane's deep waters rhetoric. Rather, he came back with acuity and stated that combatants who speak in those terms tend to get knocked down. His demeanor was relaxed, not arrogant, but it packed a punch. Aspinall reminded everyone that in the heavyweight division, one slip can end the evening.
Everybody who said the word deep waters gets knocked out in the first minute. Go back and check the media that you've done. So, I'm pretty happy with that. That's good.
The MMA world went crazy with commentary. Henry Cejudo was one of the first to speak out, indicating this bout will not be an Aspinall-style 2-round submission. He feels that it will last 3 or 5 rounds because both men are very technical and skilled. Cejudo is predicting a war of tactics with lots of counters, traps, and intelligent striking exchanges.
The way that I see this fight is, I think this is the first time that we're probably going to see Tom possibly go 5 rounds, bro, or at least 3. Because there's one thing that Ciryl Gane does very, very well. You know what it is? It's movement, his agility. He wasn't able to do that against John Jones, but man, he's never stationary. But it's also his best gift is also his worst enemy too, because it's a lot of movement and he's a heavyweight. I mean, he is 0-2 versus Jones and Ngannou, the 2 best heavyweights that the UFC has legit ever seen. You know, so those are his only 2 losses, bro. But that being said, I'm curious to see if Tom is able to really go those 5 rounds.
Cejudo still sided with Aspinall. He thinks Tom's explosiveness, velocity, and striking precision are on another tier. Cejudo described Aspinall's range control and perfectly timed strikes as something Gane would not be able to cope with. He added that Tom doesn't just swing for knockouts, he sets them up beautifully. For Henry, the fight may go long, but eventually, Tom will find his opening and land something that changes everything.
I gotta go with Tom because of his agility and his knockout power, and not just that, bro. The dude could take people down, man. You know, this dude, you know, right. Tom, and not just that, man, but he has 100% takedown accuracy. You know, according to the fighter stats.
Teddy Atlas also gave his thoughts and sided with Aspinall as well. Atlas said Tom's biggest weapon isn't his power, it's his mental toughness. He commended how Aspinall remains composed in the midst of turmoil, adjusts intelligently, and never wavers even when circumstances do not favor him. Teddy described this sort of poise as uncommon among heavyweights, and it might just be the deciding factor. Mental toughness for him will surpass any strength Gane attempts to apply.
Where I really give the edge to Aspinall is the mental area. And you know I'm big on that. That I think he's maybe a little stouter, a little more dependable, a little bit more together in the mental area. And like I always say, a fight ain't a fight till there's something to overcome. And then you find out. I'll say if that something to overcome happens, Aspinall will overcome it and he'll win.
Atlas did not dismiss Gane's improvements. However, he added that Gane's defense has come a long way since the past few years. His movement, distance control, and big shot avoidance have all improved significantly since his previous fights. Atlas added that these developments might infuriate Tom in the early part of the match, provided Gane remains disciplined. He cautioned that if Aspinall becomes too aggressive too early, Gane could potentially use that against him.
He's got the quick hands, the quick feet, he closes gaps fast. Guess what though? Stay away from the ground, because if they get to the ground, Aspinall has a good edge. But Gane has improved in that area, at least to the point where he can survive. He can protect himself. He can, his takedown defense and his defense when taken down has become much better.
Teddy also pointed to another threat: Gane's counter-striking. He sees this fight being contested largely on the feet, with strikes being the determining factor. That means timing and patience will be key. Atlas said Gane's ability to counter cleanly could give Aspinall real problems if Tom overcommits. He expects a high-level striking contest where both fighters will need to stay sharp for every second. In his eyes, one wrong step could completely shift momentum in this matchup.
I would think it's going to be a striking match for the most part. Gane's a pretty good striker. He's got good legs. He ain't gonna be cement-footed in there. He's pretty fleet-footed, and he's also a pretty good counterpuncher. If Aspinall gets a little top-heavy, a little anxious to land that southpaw killer, the right hand, Gane can counter him.
Michael Bisping also gave his prediction, analyzing what Gane might do to win. He's hoping that Gane utilizes a lot of movement, sidesteps, and range control to tire out Aspinall. He opined that if Gane could remain disciplined and have Aspinall pursue him for the initial rounds, he might be able to make the fight closer than everyone anticipates.
And we know that Tom Aspinall has lost a lot of weight coming into this one. I forget what the percentage was, but just recently it showed that his body fat percentage is down to something crazy like 6 or 7%. At heavyweight, that's insane. And you know why that is? You know why he's done that? Because he knows that Cyryl's going to be on his back. Of course, Cyryl's going to have a game plan. Of course, he's going to use the footwork. And Tom is going to have to catch him. He's going to have to be able to match the speed. He's going to have to be able to cut off the cage. He's going to have to be able to shoot extra quick, close the distance, get on the inside.
But that's a huge if. Bisping then raised a new point: Tom's recent weight loss. He said that Aspinall has dropped down and is quicker than ever. That quickness might be the game changer, particularly against a fighter like Gane, who is a movement-dependent striker. Bisping feels that with increased speed and agility, Tom can close the range faster and land before Gane even gets a chance to react. For him, that alteration could entirely reverse the dynamic of this fight once the two begin trading inside the cage.
And we know that Tom Aspinall has lost a lot of weight coming into this one. I forget what the percentage was, but just recently it showed that his body fat percentage is down to something crazy like 6 or 7%. At heavyweight, that's insane. And you know why that is? You know why he's done that? Because he knows that Cyryl's going to be on his back. Of course, Cyryl's going to have a game plan. Of course, he's going to use the footwork. And Tom is going to have to catch him. He's going to have to be able to match the speed. He's going to have to be able to cut off the cage. He's going to have to be able to shoot extra quick, close the distance, get on the inside. And the thing is at heavyweight as well.
After taking everything apart, Bisping finally made his decision and selection: Tom Aspinall. He complimented Tom's speed, power, and accuracy, stating that his striking is some of the best in all all of the UFC. Bisping thinks Aspinall's intelligence and confidence will see him through even if the fight gets rough early on. Bisping referred to Tom as a future legend and mentioned that this fight may be the performance that solidifies his place as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
He's got the speed, and I do think he gets the takedown, and I do think he gets the stoppage. It's a 5-round affair. I don't think Ciryl Gane is no punk. I am not underestimating him, and I'm sure that Tom Aspinall isn't. I'm sure that he's going to be a credible threat. I know he's going to land some shots, and it's going to be an entertaining fight.
Even Alexander Volkanovski chimed in, and he was extremely sure of Aspinall. Volk stated that he sees this fight being totally one-sided. Tom, according to him, is too fast, too quick, and too explosive for Gane. He foresaw that Aspinall would come forward and overwhelm Ciryl with relentless pressure. Volk stated that it reminds him of his own fighting style: consistent aggression, no time to catch breath, and complete control from beginning to end.
Gane, very safe striker. Doesn't fully commit with big shots all the time. He picks his shots. How does that work against Tom Aspinall? He's one of the most explosive guys. Like, he's the fastest heavyweight I've ever seen. And I think he just blitz us straight through Gane, to be quite honest, whether it's a takedown or even with the strike.
But to everyone's surprise, when Aspinall himself was prompted to forecast the outcome, he mentioned something no one expected. Tom foretold a split decision victory for himself. Fans were surprised because they hoped he would assure them of a finish, but it indicated his integrity and respect towards Gane. Aspinall clearly stated that he doesn't underrate anyone, and he's training for a hard, grueling fight. That kind of humility by a champion gained him even more respect.
So me and my, I've got one of the best heavyweight teams in the world, if not the best heavyweight team, some of the best minds in the game, some of the best training partners in the game. We actually discussed, and we've shown what we can do, shown how dangerous I am, and we're going to switch it up this time, and we're going to go out there and win a boring split decision.
Chael Sonnen made a valid point. He never forgot that although Tom has upgraded his conditioning by shedding pounds, he has never made it through 5 rounds in his life. Sonnen wondered if Aspinall had the stamina to keep his explosive tempo up throughout the bout. He cautioned that Gane could take him to territory he's not used to. For Chael, that's where the real challenge starts, when the exhaustion sets in.
If Tom doesn't win here, imagine the history books. I mean, imagine, you'd almost be embarrassed. The history books are going to call you the undisputed champion, but you didn't win it in the ring. You didn't have that actual fight. I mean, it's one of these tough things. Tom did nothing wrong. I'm sharing with you some of the stuff, that the weight that's on Tom's shoulders. In addition to all that, you have the John Jones factor. Tom needs to go out in some fashion and look as though he could handle a common opponent in Ciryl in a way better or more impressively.
Sonnen also spoke of the enormous amount of pressure on Aspinall's shoulders. Not just does he need to defend his gold, but fans anticipate him doing better than John Jones did against Gane. That sort of pressure can shatter even the best fighters. Chael added that this bout is not merely defending gold, it's a demonstration of whether he's the future of heavyweight MMA. The million-dollar question now is, can Aspinall take that pressure and still produce another perfect performance?
Or you reach fatigue and exhaustion. How is he going to do moving that big body around 18 minutes in, 23 minutes in, 24 minutes in? I don't know. But Ciryl's done it before. Ciryl is in the 5-round club. Tom is not. Tom is not in the 4-round club. Tom is not professionally in the 3-round club. Meaning he's completed 3 full rounds. He did once as an amateur, which to our research over here at Bad Guy Inc., we believe was a 3-minute situation. Total of a 9-minute match, not 15. Relevant, very relevant.
Share your picks in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more MMA analysis. UFC 321 is on track to be a war, and one thing's certain. When the cage door shuts, someone's legacy will be irreparably altered forever.